and I was teaching a class in the Clean Water Act. And I was commenting to the students how really remarkable it is that we've reached a point in American history, or really in human history, where more people can get clean, safe drinking water from the tap than ever before. And as I was saying this, I looked around the class and noticed that almost every student had a bottle of water sitting in front of them. And I thought, well, that's weird, right? I mean, if the water is safer now than it's ever been before, the tap water, then why are sales of bottled water just shooting through the roof? And I looked into it, into what had been written on the subject, and there were a lot of books on bottled water. But I'd been a big fan for a while of the books by Mark Kurlansky, Cod, Salt. It turns out there's a whole genre of books that basically tell world history through the prism of a specific commodity. So Cod really is the history of the settling of North America. And so I started thinking, is there anything out there that really traces drinking water as a resource in itself through history? And the fact is, no. No one had really sort of taken this historic view, and it's turned out to be a fabulous project. I've been working on it on and off for literally 7 years. And in a sense, I'm kind of sad that the project's over because there are just so many different interesting aspects of it. And everyone has a view on drinking water, everyone. And they're interested in different things. So is our water safe to drink? Should I feel immoral because I drink bottled water? Are terrorists threatening our water supplies? And on and on and on. So that really is the origin of where the book came from. I was sort of inspired, you might say, by my students' consumption patterns. And it led me to go to the local bookstore and realize that there was a book that was really waiting to be written. And that's what I try to do in this book. The book starts off with the story of a very small town called Mcleod in Northern California, right on the flanks of Mount Shasta. And Mcleod it's stunningly beautiful. This forest, the huge ancient volcano in the background. And one of the things that sets Mcleod apart is it has incredibly pure spring waters. Basically, the snows on Mount Shasta, they melt and they go underground that are filtered and come up again as spring water. And literally people come from around the world to drink the spring waters. There's some New Age voyagers who believe there's a spiritual vortex around Mcleod. So Mcleod has these wonderful waters, but it was also going through very, very hard times in the 1980s, 1990s, because the timber industry was dying. And so a number of people on the town council were searching around for ways to revitalize the economy, and they settled on their water. And in negotiations with Nestle, an agreement was struck where Nestle was going to build a big bottling plant. And the town council thought this was great, right? This was going to bring in a lot of jobs, a lot of income. It was going to basically be the new Mother Mcleod for the area. But there was a lot of opposition as well. And the opposition started getting, it was basically a grassroots movement. The Mcleod Watershed Council was formed. And it was an incredibly contentious debate. There were some folks who were basically saying that these environmentalists and others from outside the town were coming in to try to tell them what to do. But there are more fundamental issues in play as well. Most important, perhaps, was who owns the water, right? Does the water belong to the future citizens of Mcleod, those who are to come? What about the claims on the local ecology? A lot of people come to Mcleod to go fishing and such. What about threats from pollution? Is there something wrong with a company coming in and taking out literally millions of gallons of water and paying Mcleod many fold times less for this gallon of water that they're going to sell it for? Was it simply a bad deal, or was it a more immoral deal? And basically the battle locked, and it went on and on and on. And I used the conflict basically to point out just how complex a resource drinking water is. Right? I mean, in some respects, you might think, what could be simpler than simply filling a glass of water from a tap, right? What could be simpler than a clear glass of water? And it turns out that water, the natural resource of water, has many different natures, right? It is a physical resource. It's something you've got to move. It's something you've got to protect. It is a social resource, right? Who gets access to water? There's a fundamental question about how we should think about it, whether it's a market commodity, which is what Nestle was thinking of it as, or it's more a human right. It's something that is ours by right, and we almost have a stewardship, a moral obligation to take care of it. It can be political as well. And so I end up using Mcleod basically as my own sort of microcosm to explain many of the themes that the book then later explores.